Hello, Commander, and welcome to this week's episode of the Radio Sidewinder Talk Show. I'm Commander Felix Jefferson, and I am joined by...
I'm Commander Stephen Adranok.
And this week we have special guest Commander Azrael Nixx, who is the local PR guy at Radio Sidewinder. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Commander Jefferson.
So, being the PR guy at Radio Sidewinder, what sort of things do you handle?
Mostly communications with the public. I'm also an investigative reporter. I try to keep my eyes open and look out for any sort of information that might be pertinent.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this with Radio Sidewinder?
I'm the newest member of the cast. I've been doing it for about a month now.
Awesome. Well, we're very happy to have you aboard with us on the talk show today. It'll be good to let the audience get used to you and learn more about the different people in Radio Sidewinder. So, interesting things in power play with the Federation was pretty successful this week. They managed to capture a lot of the systems they had lost previously, and even Felicia Winters actually finally claimed new supporters in Amusco, which she's apparently been trying to get for a while.
Yeah, it seems like the Federation and the Empire just kind of traded systems again. All the systems that the Federation lost about a month ago, they finally got back. These are the Adan, Karpaka, Concante, and LPM 229 systems.
As well as Aisling actually withdrew her campaign in Shunmar and Magella, and she couldn't even find any more supporters in the Kuni system as well. Zemina Taval hasn't really done much either, made no new acquisitions. And Denton Patrius actually was rebuffed from Neely and HIP 116377. But actually, out of all the Empire factions, he managed to actually establish a presence in HIP 2239. So he seems to be the most successful this week.
Yeah, which is surprising because he's usually at the bottom of the Empire's list, besides Zemina, of course.
Yeah, he's not as popular.
So, now with power play over, to get things started, I guess we should probably talk about the Orlis campaign, which was very successful this past week.
Yes, for those that don't know, the Joint Security Task Force reached out to commanders across the galaxy in an effort to clean up the Orlis system.
So, of course, it's very important to defeat the Blue Hand Gang because they were reported to be kidnapping people and just causing them bunch of chaos in the Orlis system.
They certainly weren't among the most dangerous of the pirate organizations out there, but it was important nonetheless to eradicate them.
Well, I mean, how important is it really? I mean, I haven't really heard too much about the Blue Hand Gang, and was it really worth all the credits to spend just to eradicate them from this system?
Of course, any organization bent on kidnapping and ransoming innocents, such as the Blue Hand Group, should be dealt with swiftly.
Well, I know some people out there really seem to support slavery a lot recently, so I don't know if kidnapping and ransom is really that far from that exact same thing. Commander Felix Jefferson.
I was hoping that didn't come back to me, but all right, that's fine.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, kidnapping and ransoming people is just as bad as something like slavery, and quite a few commanders, Federation and Empire Alliance included, all these factions have many commanders who trade slaves and support slavery on their own. So why is it so important to get rid of the Blue Hand Gang in comparison?
Well, as a person who does participate in this indentured servitude transportation...
You can say indentured servitude, but we all know what it really is.
Well, that's debatable, but...
Is it, though? I mean, some of them aren't even imperial slaves. Some of them are just regular slaves.
Well, yeah, that may be true, but I guess the difference is the Blue Hand Group is just kidnapping random innocent people and ransoming them off for large amounts of credits. So, whereas slavery is more of a... I mean, you're pretty much born into it, and you got to work your way out of it like indentured servitude, and someday you may do that. Or maybe Princess Aisling comes along and tries to set up another colony to free the slaves, but then just inadvertently stimulate the slave trade again.
Moral argument aside, the important thing now is that the victims of the Blue Hand Group have been recovered by the Joint Security Task Force and are being processed before being released.
Which I'm glad you say that, because that actually takes us into our next topic, which is that we have found Ishmael Palin, who was lost recently when he went to go to visit the barnacles from Obsidian Orbital.
I myself have been very interested in Professor Palin for some time, and I really do think that there's a lot more to all this than what most people recognize. Ishmael Palin, of course, is the scientist who was studying the meta-alloys, and I think we were all very surprised when he disappeared on his trip to Obsidian Orbital.
I don't know about very surprised. I mean, Commander Felix here, as soon as we heard about it, had a few theories about people going after to kill him, as there were death threats to him, and we talked about him a few times. But one thing that can't even be discounted at this point, I guess, would be the fact that where he was found. It seems rather strange that he was found with the Blue Hand Gang rather than near where he was disappeared. I don't believe that the system Aurelus is even on the way to Maya from Obsidian Orbital.
No, it's not. I think that something far different happened to Professor Palin, and the Blue Hand Group, being the opportunists that they were, just happened to find the wreckage of his vessel.
What sort of theories do you have on what happened to him?
Look, I think we can all agree that there's been some very strange activity happening recently, and okay, I want to be clear. I'm not saying it's Thargoids, but it's Thargoids.
You're not saying it's not Thargoids. Well, I don't know. I'd like to hear what Palin himself has to say once he's through processing. Hopefully he'll make some sort of statement to the public about what happened to him in his journey through space. I'm sure, though, he's had a very stressful time, and it needs a few days to recollect himself.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to get his eyewitness account of what actually happened to his ship, especially since he was carrying those meta-alloys, just to see, maybe those actually do have a negative effect on ships and we just didn't know it, but now we might have some information.
Yeah, absolutely. Though, interestingly enough, despite Obsidian Orbital's setbacks and security issues and all these mysterious things happening, when they were the main gatherer of meta-alloys, and still yet more people are requesting meta-alloys. Professor Luffy at Bond Hub in the Variety system actually expressed a need for meta-alloys for research purposes.
Yeah, and this is like what we saw last week with the other request at Obsidian Orbital when they found out that their meta-alloys were being sold on the black market. So
I find all of this activity with the barnacles and the meta-alloys deeply disconcerting. We know that they're not a peaceful race from past encounters, and I really do believe that if things continue the way that they have been, we could be at risk of another Thargoid attack.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Thargoids have wised up and they want to be a bit more diplomatic. Either way, there's nothing concrete linking the meta-alloys to the Thargoids. Yes, they're strange and we haven't seen anything like them, but the galaxy is a very big place full of lots of variety, and anything can happen. I hear some people are taking a more positive approach to the existence of the barnacles. In fact, there's a chef who wants to make a meal with barnacles as one of his ingredients.
That's one of the most absurd things I've ever heard.
Yep, that's Chef Oliver Gordon, who's trying to, what is his dish that he's describing? It's a barnacle broth with a Durangus truffle oil mix and some Ocheng chili reduction to top it all off, which, I don't know. Maybe it will taste amazing, but I'm not too enticed to try it.
Well, it sounds like a bit of flavored water, oil, and some sauce, so I don't really think that's a good mixture, but you know what? He's a chef and he knows better. Either way, I won't be trying some until I've at least learned a little bit more about the barnacles.
Exactly, yeah. But with that, we have to go to our commercial break. We'll be back in a few minutes, Commanders.
Welcome back, Commander. And luckily enough, we're able to have Commander Chives join us for the second half of the show. He was unfortunately being interdicted by a pirate on his way to work this morning, so he was a little late. But he's here now. How are you doing, Chives?
It made me spill my space coffee.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
You didn't have it in the cup holder, right?
Nope.
Oh.
I carry it between my legs.
Oh, was it hot?
It was. That's why I do it.
Oh.
No, I understand that. I mean, I love the Viper, but unfortunately it does not have cup holders. It's a tough thing. You didn't happen to go through LHS 3447 on your way, did you? I hear they're building a new starport there.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yes, they are building a new, or they're trying to build a new starport. Do we know if they're successful yet, or are they still doing it?
Let me guess, they're taking a crap ton of donations.
Actually, no donations. They're looking for people to attack the pirates that have been attacking their cargo of construction materials coming in. Luckily, for them, there was quite a large wing of Imperial commanders.
Of heroic Imperials.
Yes, heroic Imperial commanders, coming in to save the day and help destroy a lot of these pirates.
Yes, well, very good. Well, that's good that they did get the help to defend their traders, because, I mean, the Diamond Frogs were helping just 2 weeks ago in LFT 37 to do pretty much the same thing, help escort traders to the starport there and help them rebuild the station or do some changes, modify it a little bit. But
yeah, and this week we have the the 13th Legion and friends helping protect the ships delivering construction materials in LH-3447. Must be terribly frustrating to have all these ships being blown up on the way.
It's terribly frustrating to have all that valuable cargo and not being able to blow it up and take it.
Well, maybe if there were less pirates, you'd have less coffee spilled. And be on time for work.
Hey.
Oh.
If my ship didn't have a faulty power supply, I would definitely fight you.
That sounds like a personal and financial problem.
It is.
I'm telling you, man, you got to do more Robigo runs.
Yeah, you can join your buddy here in his, obstruction of human rights.
I mean, I'm kind of being converted to stop slavery because it's stupid.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Don't even give me that. You were
good,
just
man.
doing Robigo a few days ago.
Hey, look, there's other things you can smuggle than slaves.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I will
children.
Any day of the week tell you no smuggling slaves, but I will easily smuggle in narcotics or personal weapons.
Well, you see, Commander Steven, I'm an equal opportunity smuggler. I don't always smuggle slaves. It's just that whatever pays the most, I smuggle.
Well, you seem very, very eager to defend slavery.
Well, yes, because that's usually what pays the most.
I mean, have you considering stopping slavery? Because it's stupid.
I mean, I have, but so far there is not a better economical alternative.
I think it's interesting that everyone is so fixated on smuggling and bounty hunting when the answer to all of our problems really lies in deep space, and a decent profit can be had through exploration.
That is true. I mean, definitely finishing the mapping of the galaxy as a whole would be fantastic. But it takes a lot of fuel, a lot of patience, a lot of jump range, which is something,
my Corvette doesn't have.
Commander Felix wouldn't really know about jump range. Man, I don't know, though. LHS 3447 has so many stations already. Does it really need a new one?
It creates a larger and more diverse economy.
A larger and more diverse economy is already there, though. I mean, there's plenty of systems near LHS 3447 that could use them. Like, I think, Chamunda has like one station? And it's, they could use another station. That would be great.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. I think maybe we should even start making more stations further outside of the bubble and just increase the bubble's diameter.
Absolutely. I mean, these Imperials and Federation and everybody's all fighting and losing and gaining systems from each other. But if they went the opposite direction towards deep space, they would be easily gaining systems as there's nothing there yet.
Well, besides the possible threat of Thargoids.
I don't think they're even in deep space. I think we have to worry about them coming from somewhere else.
Well, you shall see what the future has for us, and where the Thargoids, if the Thargoids come, where they will come from.
At least LHS 3447 Dynamic & Co. is the people behind building the new station. And I think if they want to build it, they really shouldn't have to involve the Pilots Federation and waste our time with building, what is it, the 11th station, if you count ground stations. I mean, even if you don't count planet-side stations, there are still 7 stations in LHS 3447. So do we really need all these pilots wasting their time hunting just small pirates in order to build yet another station in a system that, quite frankly, not a lot of people spend a great amount of time in once they've left?
I guess the argument is, is this station supposed to be like Isola, or is it just going to be another station?
Well, I mean, if it is another station, if they're going to do that, I hope they would build it a little closer to the entrance point to that system, because I am tired of jumping into LHS 3447 and having to go 100,000 light years. But if it follows the pattern, if it floats around one of those planets or one of those moons, it's going to be that far away.
Right, yeah.
And it's pointless to build it.
Well, speaking, though, of wasting pilots' time, did any of you see the goal that our friendly neighbors at Lave Radio have put forth for the community?
I did, actually. Like one of the first times I ever looked at it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, right?
I actually got Commander Chives to look at Galnet.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. I wish we could get more people to look at Galnet ourselves. No, no, but yeah, it looks like they need blood crystals, which is it's pretty crazy because I don't think we need blood crystals in order to keep our transmission live.
Some background information for maybe some people who weren't really they aren't really sure what we're talking about. This past week, all of the radio stations throughout the galaxy suffered a little bit of a technical issue with our transmitters. And Radio Sidewinder, I believe, was one of the first radios to get back up and running, and we got it back up in a matter of like a couple of hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't really understand what Lave is trying to do. It sounds like they're trying to rebuild their transmitter and not just realign it like we did.
Well, I think it helps a lot for us, the fact that we have a dedicated crew. I mean, really, as soon as it was down, we were able to go out there and fix it. It took us moments to get it right, and we were good to go. And thanks to, of course, yourself and Azrael Nixx and Commander Black Bart and Commander Cold Glider and Commander Arbitrician, you were just out there and ready to go. And maybe if Lave had as much of a supportive team and behind them, they would realize that apparently, and this is coming from their own news report, but there were pieces of their station that were scavenged. Just pieces of their transistor were missing, like people had stolen them and scavenged them and taken them places. And they didn't even know whether it was pirates or even their own employees just deciding to take pieces home.
Hang on a second. How do they not know who stole huge chunks of a transmitter?
Yeah, especially something as valuable as blood crystals.
I don't think we should dismiss the possibility of Thargoids.
It could be the Thargoids. It could be the Thargoids.
Such a rare material as blood crystals, they might be attracted to them and radio signals. Well, the fact that all the radio stations went down at the same time is rather suspicious in and of itself. Maybe some issues with interstellar space?
I think it's pretty well known that the Thargoids are capable of manipulating the fabric of space-time, and I think it's well within their power to affect the intergalactic signals that our stations broadcast.
Well, luckily it's back up, and if the Thargoids are going to attack, you'll hear about it first from Radio Sidewinder while Lave is still fixing their transmitter.
If there's any Thargoids listening, should have them on the show.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Interview with Thargoid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suspect they view us as an insignificant species anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we have thumbs. Do they have thumbs?
Oh, yeah, you got a point there.
That is a very good point.
Thumbs are the envy of all of their species. All right.
Well, in all seriousness, though, we do encourage any willing commander to help our fellow radio stations out and help them repair their transmitters so they can continue broadcasting like we are.
Absolutely. We can't be the only station on the dial. That would get a little, well, I guess that would be pretty amazing, but, you know.
That would be pretty awesome. Just imagine how many people would be listening to the talk show.
All right. Yeah, I really do, actually, in all honesty, do hope they get to their operating power soon. They're an important asset in the galaxy. Though I did hear they're moving out of the Lave system.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of surprising, considering Lave, their roots are just so deeply rooted in that system, and it's such a famous system as well, so I don't really know what caused them to move to the DSO system, was it?
Yes, the DSO system.
Yeah.
The important question is, will they change the name to DSO Radio? Because that rhymes a little better.
Regardless where they're broadcasting from, I think we can all agree that we wish them well, and hope that they get their transmitter back online promptly.
Absolutely. If you're interested in supporting a radio station, you can always join the Radio Sidewinder minor faction. That'll be coming soon to the... what system? I forgot.
Tago.
It'll be coming soon to the Tago system. And if you have any questions about Radio Sidewinder, be sure to join us at the Pilot's Lounge, where off and on we'll have people from Radio Sidewinder and other commanders who love to listen to us on, and you can just chat with people, or you can get new advice, any sorts of things like that. So we're a very friendly community.
That we are.
Wow. So I think that's all for us this evening. This is Commander Steven Atronach wishing you safe flights and signing off.
This is Azrael Nixx from somewhere out there, wishing you all well.
And Commander Felix Jefferson wishing you all a safe journey through